how to think strategically and proactively in uncertain times about decisions that we may want to make about where our life is going. It's very easy to weave scenarios and go down all kinds of what ifs, to think, yeah, and what about this option and this option and this thing, and what if this happens, what will I do if that happens, when all of these things we can't know. And it's very tempting to think ahead. And my sense is that this temptation to think ahead very far is within some version of predict and control. That is what we know about how to think. Whatever we can predict and control gives us a sense of peace and security. And given that that is not possible, there is a principle of making the least number of decisions that is possible to make, only based on information that is available now, and making as few irreversible decisions as possible. That's it. That's the simplicity. And what that allows us to do is to maintain the rigor of being within what we know instead of spinning within what we don't know. It's very difficult and very relieving when we're able to do this. Rigor is what's needed in general when there are very available, well-grooved pathways for doing things, and those are not aligned with how we want to function. Because if we don't have rigor, very quickly we will fall into one of those. When we have high stakes, uncertainty, what am I going to do with my life? How am I going to respond to this new set of circumstances, etc.? It's very easy to fall into let me think about all the different possibilities and all the what ifs and all the worst case scenarios and best case scenarios and all of that, when none of this is knowable. And I am generally putting energy into something that I don't know. And the rigor is to stay only with what I know. I'm now remembering, as I'm saying this, that when my sister Inbal was very first diagnosed with having tumors, we still didn't know whether they were going to be cancerous or not, but we knew she had tumors. The first thing that I did is spin out of control into, oh, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then she's going to die, and then I will go do this, and then what will I do, like this. And I had the amazing grace of having a conversation that first day with someone, and I adopted and managed to stay with the principle of being only with what I already know. And what we knew at the time was that she had tumors and that there was going to be surgery within a few weeks. That's all we knew. And that's what I needed to be with. How do we orient to the reality that she has tumors? How do we prepare for the surgery? That's all that needed to happen. Then anything else is living in the future. And it took rigor. And after a while, it no longer took rigor. Over the 7 years that she was dealing with cancer, I think I spent a total of maybe 40 hours over 7 years in the future, instead of being in the present, what we know, what is needed now. And at a certain point, I even understood that staying with the present and with what I know now will also be preparation for if she dies. I don't need to prepare for her death. It's just going to be a new series of events. So for 7 years, I was fundamentally able to stay in the future. And that takes rigor, because it's very easy to spin into the future and not be just with the present.